Hello, and welcome to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry, and on Flirk and Instagram, I am Mel-Tran Designs. There's also a group on Facebook. There's a Ravelry group, all by the same name, Mel-Tran Designs. And I do have a website where I post my episodes. It is meltrandesigns.com. Today is Thursday, November 11th, 2014. I have been a busy bee today. Eli and Quinn and I went grocery shopping this morning to two different stores, and then I dropped him off at school and dropped Anansi's lunch money off that I forgot to give her this morning, and then went to another store. I know that sounds like probably silly. First store I went to was Winco, and they're like just a grocery store, but I needed some baby things, and so then I had the reason and then I went to Costco. I limit the stuff I get there because, I don't need 20 of everything. Then I dropped Eli at school, then I went to Walmart for the baby stuff. So anyway, today Quinn got to eat food for the first time. She just had a couple of bites of pears. So anyways, yes, she's that old. She hit 5 months last week, so I'm not going to give her a ton of solids. But she was definitely ready. There are, kind of certain signs and cues you look for, and she was exhibiting them all times a million. Like last week when I was at the hospital, which I'll talk about in a second, she was trying to pull like I had a big old cookie that I was eating, and she was trying to grab it out of my hand. Like, she wasn't just watching me eat it, she was trying to grab it. So anyways, that was fun, and she was humming the whole time. It was really cute. She was and then she stuck her it was so cute. Anyway, so there's the update on that. Happenings this week, these last 2 weeks. On a sad note, my grandma passed away last week on Thursday. It wasn't completely unexpected. She was 83 and had had diabetes for, I don't know, 50 years, and she wasn't in great health, and she hadn't been sick, but just not in great health, and she fell and broke her ankle and just kind of, down from there. So, anyways, that was, I was actually there in the room when she died, which was the first time I've ever experienced that before, and I won't talk about it too much, but it was a a weird thing to see. And I don't know, I guess on a personal note, since this is my podcast and I can talk about whatever, when we had to make the choice to turn off the machines on my mom, I was about a month before turning 22. I was pregnant with my first child. I had been married for a few months. And when we made that choice, I also made the choice not to be in the room. And I've never regretted that decision, because in that moment I couldn't handle that. And so I've always been okay with that, because I made the decision that was right for me in that moment. My dad did stay with her, and the nurses that she loved and stuff. I couldn't be in there. But I have also wondered, could I have handled it? And after watching my grandma pass away, there is no way I could have in that moment handled watching that. There's just no way. So, not that anything gross happened, it was very peaceful. She just kind of stopped breathing. I mean, there was nothing dramatic or traumatic. It just, the way that the color changes and all that. I know I couldn't have handled it. And it kind of reassures me, I guess, that I made the right choice then, and not that I needed reassurance. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but anyways, there you have it. We didn't really do a funeral because she and my grandpa lived up in northern Idaho since, I don't know, 1970, and so it was just family down here. So what we did was we all went out to lunch together on Sunday afternoon. We rented or not rented, but reserved a banquet room, so it was just us, and it had a podium with a mic, and my dad said some things. He kind of read off a list of some fun memories that we probably have of, you know, special meals that she made and toys that she had and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, it was perfect. It was very our family. We didn't need to have a funeral because nobody else would have come. It would have just been us, and it would have cost unnecessary money. So anyways, it was great. And it was a good time with the family. And we actually got together Friday night as well, for a game night at my aunt and uncle's house. And my grandma loved card games, and so that was also a great thing to do during that time. So anyways, if I don't seem overly sad, it's because, like I said, she was older, and she's not hurting anymore. She was miserable, and whether you believe in an afterlife or not, she still isn't hurting anymore. So, she's at peace now, and that means a lot. So, anyways, I'm trying to think of what else even has gone on, because that's why I didn't record last week. Yeah, I don't think really anything has gone on that I can think of. Anyway, I did get to talk to Dawn on the phone, Knit and Wolf from the Wolf Farms podcast. We've texted a lot, and but we had never actually talked on the phone. And I had called her to tell her something, and it was right in the middle of when Fuji was really sick. If you watch her podcast, it was 2 episodes ago. So we didn't talk. I just told her that I hoped everything was okay and that I was thinking about her. And then she called me back a few days later after things got straightened out, and she slept. And I just wanted to tell her something really quick. And an hour later, we got off the phone. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed our conversation. So anyway, yeah, trying to think. I think that's pretty much all the big stuff that has happened. So yeah, let's talk about going on and coming up. I'm sitting on the floor today, if you couldn't tell. I didn't have anything to stack my computer on, and I just kind of threw it up really quick so I could record and get this out. And so my computer's on a chair sitting in front of me. So anyway, let me take a drink really quick because I just ate and my mouth's all dry. Okay, going on / coming up. Nothing's really going on. The year of the Q is still going on. It's almost done. No more of this committing to crap for a year. I didn't have a podcast the last time I did something that was for a whole year. It was 2 years ago. If you watch my first couple episodes, I talk about it. I went on a no yarn buying year, and this was my year of the Q with a couple of exceptions for baby things, and if I decided that I felt like crocheting. So yeah, it's been fun. Don't get me wrong. It's been nice. But I'm kind of tired of looking at that stuff. And after a while, I was like, nope, I'm not going to make you. Nope, I'm not going to. And I was just like taking stuff out of the queue. was just like, I'm so tired of looking at you. I'm not ever going to knit this. So, anyway. Yeah, so that's going on. The things that are on the needles are either from the queue or designs or something that is parallel to being in the queue, which I'll talk about it when I show it to you. I'm saying a lot. I just noticed that. All right, let's get that out of my system. Okay. I don't know that I'll finish or that I'll make any more this year from my queue. There are still some things in it that I want to make in the future, but I do plan on, once the new year hits, going through and adding the things to my queue that I plan on making in 2015, just so that way I have them, just kind of right there in a nice line, nice list there. And yeah, I have some fun stuff planned for 2015 for knitting. I don't know about knit-alongs. My plan, something I do plan on doing, which I've talked about before, is participating in knit-alongs. And let me think, the Stockinette Zombies, they have their self-striping knit-along. I don't know if they're going to do that next year again. I hope they do, because it's fun. And I get a lot of ideas from that thread. And things like that, but like actual official knit-alongs, I think it'd be fun to jump in on that. So anyways, I'm not like restricting myself by any means. It's just something that I think will be fun to do throughout the year. We'll just call it knit-along piggybacking. But I mentioned it last week, and I will mention it every week, or well, not every week, but every podcast leading up to it. In February and March, Lisa from the 90% Knitting podcast, Fiber Nymph, sorry, I just said again and I got myself. We're co-hosting a stranded colorwork knit-along. It can be as complicated or as simple as you'd like. If you've never done stranded colorwork, then you can make a coffee mug cozy, or something small like that. It doesn't have to be crazy. I have not really done a lot of stranded color work. I've done 2-color stuff, but I haven't ever done more than 2. No, I've never done more than 2 colors. I've done a lot of double knitting, but that's totally different. Anyways, I plan to do a sweater. I can't remember what it's called right offhand. Great. I'm going to look it up so that if you want to join me in doing a sweater, you can look it up too. Let me pull up Ravelry really quick and hope my internet is actually working for now. Our internet has been crapping out lately. And we call and we tell them, and they're like, oh, blah, 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 and it's not a big deal, and yada, 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 whatever. A new pattern that Laura Ayler just put out, which she's totally my favorite designer. If you haven't watched my previous... Oh, welcome! Jeez, talk about, like, spastic brain here. Welcome, new and returning viewers. If you're old viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're new, apparently I'm a scatterbrain, but thank you for... thank you for watching. What I was going to say is if you haven't seen any previous episodes or all the way back or whatever, I've talked about Laura Ayler's patterns before. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. So she has a new sweater pattern out called Hey Cove that is really cool, and I totally plan on knitting it. And I think I should have to use some of Lisa's Cozy Base. Just saying. If you haven't heard me rave about it, just go back and watch previous episodes. Let me look here. Oh, it's called the Gray Sparrow. Grey, not A-Y. Gray Sparrow. It's a sport weight cardigan that you steek up the front. I've never done steeking before, so I plan to do a mug cozy first. And that's sport weight, like I think I said that. The pattern is $5.50. And then there's another one that I was looking at that's called the Plum Frost Pullover and Cardigan. And it just has the color work up at the yoke and then also at the bottom. So a little bit less. The Gray Sparrow is complete color work the whole time. And then there's another one that that I think would still work that I really liked. It's and the Plum Frost pullover and cardigan is fingering weight, and it costs $6.50. And then the other one that I found is called the Pixelated Pullover. It's a $7 pattern, and it's out of DK weight, and it's a really fun one too. That isn't It's not all over color work, but it has a decent amount in it that I would say it would qualify. I guess I'd have to talk to Lisa and see what she thought, but I think there's a decent amount, enough. So, anyways, now you know what it's called, or what the one I'm knitting is called, which I think I talked about it last week, or last time, but I don't remember. I need to cut my bangs, and so they're in they're hitting my eyebrow. If you have bangs, you know what I'm talking about. They're just long enough that they're hitting like the bottom of it. They're bothering me. Don't worry, I'm not gonna mess with them though. Okay. That's what's coming up, going on, whatever. More to come later, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Let me get my thoughts together. Is that everything that we talked about? Happenings this week, going on, coming up. Yeah, works in progress. Let's move right along. I'll show you this one because it's right behind me. This is the one that I was referring to when I said it was parallel. I had planned on making Cayenne a new hat this year, and she doesn't want a hat. So I found this pattern on Ravelry. It's called Oma's Bonnet, O-M-A, apostrophe S, bonnet. And this is all I have so far, and I haven't printed it out. It is a paid-for pattern. What you do is you make a bonnet, and then you pick up stitches around the bottom, and you have a couple of buttons, and so it buttons it close around your neck, which is nice for those of you who have short hair. You know how cold the back of your neck gets when you go out. So anyways, this is what she wants. The yarn I'm using is Fiber Addiction, her worsted weight base. I don't remember the name of the colorway. If you go, I don't know what episode it was. When I made Cayenne's fingerless mitts, this is the same yarn. I actually have two skeins, but this is still the first skein. But it has pretty blues and purples and white mixed together. So I'm just past the brim. As you can see, it's a folded over brim that you attach together, which doesn't give anything away, because if I were to show it to you up close, you'd be able to figure that out. And then it'll be, stockinette and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, it's a pretty cheap pattern. It's $4 Canadian, which ended up being $3.60 something US. So not bad. And I like that the story behind it. Her grandma used to make them, and then she got Alzheimer's and had written down the pattern, and so this gal got the pattern and wrote it up. So anyways, fun story, and it's nice to support, other designers. Let's show you the sweater. I actually went back and looked at the most recent episode, my last episode, because I had started the sweater, and I was right in the middle of doing the second cable repeat and had not split off for the arms or the sleeves or anything yet. I'm going to move my water. I just about stuck my sweater in it. The pattern is called Miranda. It's a top-down raglan. So I will show you, let's see, 1, 2. So that's how much you saw last week. So last time, this is how much I have now. I have almost the whole body done. I have done, well, this won't give too much away. It's just a detail, but it doesn't give any stitch counts away or anything, so I don't mind telling you. What you do is you work down the cable rib section, and then you put those stitches on a holder. You put those stitches on a holder, and work in stockinette for as long as it tells you. And then you pick these back up. It tells you to put a separate needle in, which is what I did. And then you start knitting it again. And that's how you make the pocket. So you don't have to seam anything. You don't have to, no attaching, no seaming, no nothing. And then when I get down to here, down to where it meets back up, then I'm assuming, I actually haven't read that part, but I'm assuming I will be knitting them together. Just a, I don't know, fairly safe assumption, I would say. So, anyways, it is coming along splendidly. The yarn I'm using is amazing. It is Barocco Remix in the strawberry colorway. And I know I raved about it before, but it seriously feels like your most favorite sweatshirt. Oh, see, speaking of sweatshirts, this one says, I knit so I don't kill people. There was a special, some people posted it on Facebook back in April or May. I don't remember. I was very pregnant and it got cold enough like 2 times after I bought it that I could wear it before it hit summer. So, April or May, in the spring. Anyways, so all of this has taken 2 skeins of yarn, and the 3rd skein just started. Let me find the end here. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. No, maybe that is it. Okay, totally lied to you. That was it. Okay, so it's... No. Okay, whatever. It started here in the still stockinette section. So all of this was 2 balls, and then just this much, and here are the 3rd ball so far. I have 5 because it should take, for my measurement, or for my size, it said 4.9 skeins, so, or balls, whatever. So I got 5. And normally I would caution people to add an extra, but on the schematic, the arms are way longer than my arms could ever dream of being. So I'm not worried about having enough yarn. And I'm getting row gauge and stitch gauge, which is amazing. That never happens for me. So anyways, I still have a decent amount of work to do. This will be done tonight, the front of the pocket. And then I think you attach it and then goes into the ribbing. I don't think there's much knitting left to do after that. Yeah, I think it's just the ribbing, but then I do have both of the sleeves and the hood, and I have to finish this by the 30th. And in the U.S., Thanksgiving is coming up next Thursday, and there goes the whole day. Well, most of the day anyway. I'm not doing Black Friday shopping this year because I refuse to give up my Thursday because the stores have gotten too greedy. So maybe I'll just do that. And I think we're getting together, my knit group, I think we're getting together that Friday for a knitting afternoon. I don't think Lee has decided yet. I think she's waiting to hear back from people, but anyways, you don't know who Lee is, and that doesn't really matter to you. Anyway, I hope that I don't have to depend on that day, though, to finish the sweater. I need to just, as a side note, I guess I could have put this in what happened this week. Monday, Tuesday. No. Tuesday, I woke up and couldn't bend my left ring finger. Like, I could not bend it with it. Okay. Physically, I could have bent it, but the pain was, like, every time I even accidentally engaged the muscle, I yelled out. Not on purpose. Involuntarily. It hurt so bad. It was this knuckle right here, the middle knuckle. I don't think it's swollen, maybe a tiny bit. It was tender to the touch. I mean, the whole thing, my whole finger ended up swollen up. It was the weirdest thing. I went to the store and bought a brace because I didn't have one, and that helped a lot because it kept it straight, So then I couldn't accidentally, bend it, especially dealing with a baby, changing diapers and stuff. So it was just like, boink, let's just hold that finger up there. So, yeah, I still have no idea. I'm hoping that it's not the onset of some arthritis in that knuckle, especially because that knuckle never hurts. Even on days when I have just knit to the point where my hands just are screaming at me, it's down here that'll start to cramp up, like in the muscle from holding it, but not that middle knuckle. I can bend it now. It's still like it's stiff. It's definitely still a little inflamed in the joint, but it doesn't hurt like it did. If I can loosely go like this, but if I were to cram my hand, it would hurt, and so I'm not going to do that. I did find though that when I kind of ignored it and knit a little bit, which was like 10 stitches, it kind of loosened it up. I tried to relax my hand, so the next day I knit and tried to relax. My guess is that I did too much on that sweater. It's not heavy, but I can see how these fingers would hurt because they're holding a lot of the bulk, because this is holding the needle and then this hand is, because I'm a thrower. So I could see how it would hurt them, but it was just really weird to wake up and be in excruciating pain. It was horrible. And sweet Anansi, she's my oldest, my 11-year-old, if you don't know. She said, I came out and I was hurting so bad. And I was trying to help them, get their stuff together for school and whatnot. And she's like, well, Mommy, you should tape them together. Because, when you hurt your fingers, you tape them together. And so I said, I don't really want to do that because then I can still bend it. I was hurting so bad. And then I went to put my hoodie on. No, did I put a hoodie on or just a sweat? I think I put this on. And she totally helped me put it on. Because I was trying to I had a long sleeve shirt on, so I was trying to hold the sleeve, and keep my fingers straight and put my hand through. And she was just so sweet and helping me get dressed. Well, not really dressed, but you know what I mean. So I could take them to the bus stop. But anyways, it was horrible. It was so horrible. The pain was just, anyways. So yeah, I hope that doesn't come back again. I hope. Right now I'm just going back and forth on the pocket, and then when I do the ribbing, then I'm on the sleeves. And I know that you have the weight of the whole sweater, but it just sits in your lap, and you can move a sleeve just back and forth. So if that's what it's from, I hope the worst is gone. So anyways, moving on. The last thing I have on the needles is actually kind of a design that, well, I guess it is a design, but it's going to be a free pattern that I just throw out on Ravelry because it's too basic to charge for. So I'm calling it, well, I just have it labeled in my pattern, saved on my computer in a Microsoft Word document. I just call it the Any Yarn Scarf, so that I know what I'm talking about. And that's really what it is. Oh, and this is out of the Fiber Nymph Dye Works gradient that I started something else with, but I was going to run out of time. And my brain just wasn't into it, but I want to make this for my mother-in-law for Christmas. So it's not fancy. I keep thinking I hear Quinn, but I don't. The furnace is on, and so it's like distorting sound. Anyway, I did a provisional cast on, as you can see there, and I am working on size, I didn't tell you any of the needles I'm using. I'll go back and do that. These are size 6 Chow Goose, and I think I cast on 40 stitches. She wants an infinity cowl, and my brain wasn't in the however many 200, 300 stitches that I was doing initially for the pattern I was trying to make up. So I'm doing this, and yeah, it's a 6-row repeat. Like I said, I just was like, 40 stitches will probably, yep, that's good. So that's how wide it is. If it's, but it's going to be, all scrunched up like an infinity cowl does. So I have no idea how much of this yarn I will use. I'm just going to go until it's, long enough to go around twice, but still sit loosely. And yeah, so there you go. Anyway, like I said, I plan to write that up. I still want to do the other one, but it was based on, I don't know if I really talked about it. It was based on her 3-color gradients, her sunshine. Where did this come from? Oh, it was in here. I'm like, where did this cable come from? Or cord, whatever. She has her sunshine base. She does 3-color progressives, gradients, whatever, color blocks. And I had an idea for that, but I think the first and second color are too similar. That's the King's Cross colorway. King's Crossing? It's a Harry Potter reference. King's Crossing. Yeah. Sorry, Lisa. Anyway, so I think what I will just be forced to do, which is so terrible, is to order one. Don't you hate it when you have to order amazing yarn from someone who you adore? Jeez. Man, life is rough. Let me tell ya. Anyway. Yeah. This is in my Girl Cave Bags bag that I got at Knitting in the Mitten last year. My sweater is in my sweater bag from Knitting's My Bag, Lois. She's awesome. And this button says, the best thing about math is knitting, which is so true, especially as a designer. So, anyways, and that sweater is on size 7 needles. I told you this scarf is on 6s. Oh, that's funny, because this is on 5s. 765. Using my most favorite needles, the Addy lace crap. I hate them. That's all I can find. They smell. They're weird. I hate them, but they're working and whatever. It'll make me knit it faster to get it off the needles. So anyway, that is all I have for the knitting portion of the show and designing. I haven't really worked on other design stuff right now. I have a bump right there. No spinning. I feel guilty. Even if I even think like, hey, I should pull out my wheel. I'm like, nope, too much knitting to do right now. So I will spin, I promise. I want to finish that 4-ply that I was attempting to do. And the unspun fiber is sitting right up there on the desk, and it's just staring at me, saying, why are you ignoring me? But I'm not ignoring it. I'm just not spinning it yet. Anyway, I found the yarn that I couldn't find last week, last podcast, last episode, whatever, last time, that I got from Lisa 2 episodes ago. Oh, I'm going to go cut my bangs as soon as I'm done here. 2 episodes ago, do you remember how I was talking about that I was ordering some yarn from her, but I was going to wait for her update because there was something I really wanted to get? Totally nailed it. My ninja clicking skills are still intact. Well, I couldn't find it because it was sitting, Kyan, we had cleaned really fast because we had family in town, and she had set it just on the floor behind my chair with a couple of other things of yarn, and when I looked last time, when I went over to look, I even looked back there, but I didn't look down apparently. So what I got was, I'm not taking it out of the bag because I haven't even opened the bag. It's so pretty. I'm just not even going to touch it. Not even going to open it until I'm ready to knit with them. And I know Lisa's probably laughing at me right now, but I don't care. That's just how it is. So it's going to have a glare. Hopefully not. Well, let's turn it over this way. That's the brighter side. This is a, she called it a bounce sock set. It has 5 different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really? 5, 6, 7. Good grief. For some reason, I thought she had said 5 when we were talking, or when I was watching, or something like that. There's 7. Anyways, they're identical. She took one skein, cut it in half, and dyed them in these color blocks. And so you will have identical socks, which will be awesome. It's in her bounce base, like I just said, the bounce sock sets. 2 200-yard balls. It's an 80/20 merino nylon, which if you've never gotten her bounce base, pause, go to FiberNymph, what is it, FiberNymphDyeWorks.BigCartel.com or something like that. I know it's Big Cartel, and if I put in FI, that's what comes up automatically. FiberNymphDyeWorks.BigCartel.com. Bam! Dang, I'm good. Can you tell I spend a lot of time perusing her shop? Anyways, go order some bounce base. Just saying. She's having an update this weekend and next weekend. Get some bounce. It's amazing. Anyway, the colorway is Further Up and Further In. And there you go. The colors are, it's like a dark charcoal gray and then gold, I guess you'd call it. And then a nice red-orange. It's like it's an orangey red, which I really like. And then there's, if I can get it on screen, and then there's purple, and then there's this really pretty blue. I love the blue. And then green, and then the black charcoal. I think it's black on the outside. So, anyways, I cannot wait to knit these up. Do I have a sock on the needles? Yes. The self-striping. Were you telling me that? I could hear it. Self-striping yarn that I dyed. It sits out in the van. I just leave it out there because I know I'm not going to work on it when I have like the sweater and stuff, but I figure if it's in the van when I'm waiting for the bus, you know, for the kids, or if I just am somewhere, I just leave it in there and then I can throw it in my purse or grab it or whatever and work on it. So anyways, I think that's all. Another short-ish podcast. We're at just, well, 38 minutes by the time I say bye. So anyways, feel free to email me, melissa@meltrandesigns.com, or PM me on Ravelry. And yeah, let's chat if you need to chat. Or post. Please post in the group. I wish it was more chatty. I check it every day and I'm like, oh, nobody posted. I don't know what we would talk about, but I don't know. And I'm hoping that next year, because I plan to do the cow piggybacking, you know, I have dust in my nose. I plan to make a thread so that people can post knit-alongs that they're participating in or that they hear about. And my plan is that the very first post will be an edited, updated running list. And then the rest of it can just be chatter on people not only posting the knit-along, but what they're working on and stuff. So I really would like people to talk. Just saying. Anyways. All right. I'm going to say bye now. I'm at 39 minutes. See, I just blew through a whole other minute. See what happens when I just... Have a great week or two. There's a really high, like 99% chance I won't record next week. My kids are out of school. Oh, I get to sleep in. Yay. Because Quinn likes to go to bed at 1:30 in the morning. So I will be sleeping in and have kids home. And Thursday is, I'm going to get past 40 minutes now. Thursday is Thanksgiving, and then Friday's the knitting thing, and then we have game night at my aunt's house that night and stuff on Friday. I said Friday. Anyway, so it'll probably be the week after that, which will be December. Wow. If you're knitting for Christmas, get on it, people. Just saying, I don't know how many days, I don't really care. Today's what, the 20th, so a month and 5 days, do the math. So, what is that, 35 days since there's, whatever. I just said I wasn't going to do the math, and then my brain started going. See, that's why I'm a designer. I'm going to stop talking. Work if you have Christmas stuff. Until next time, keep knitting. Bye.